So we haven't talked a lot about Taylor Tatum so far, and for all the good, there are bad moments. Like again, I just can't state this over again. This is what I talked about all off season. I talked about it in the spring game. I was talking about it on the podcast. Like anybody that's listening, there were gonna be growing pains. I don't know why OU fans are acting so surprised by it. You can't learn game speed in practice. It just doesn't work like that. You're gonna have to grow into this. Same for Taylor Tatum as any of the offensive linemen. Like it's just gotta happen. You can't. You're not gonna force it through. It doesn't work like that. It's just rare that you have to do all five of your offensive linemen in the same breath. Like that's because even the guys that are experienced, like Michael Tarquin and Jacob Sexton, they've had to move positions a lot. Like there's been no continuity. So again, sorry, got onto a little bit of an O-line rant. I'm gonna pull back. This is Jackson Arnold's big run up the left side. Now, there's no question that this is a lot about Tulane getting fooled and biting really, really hard on the counter. Remember last week when we talked in the opening play about, it was later in the game. I can't remember. It was a play where we had talked about they were using something off of the counter and saying, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to show you the counter. Oh, it was the first play. It was a big tackle for loss for Deion Burks in the first play against Houston. And saying, well, you can't just do that. Well, let's let the play. And you can't just do that and say, oh, well, now that we've shown you nothing to be afraid of, now you better be afraid of this and over pursue. Well, Oklahoma had a little success running. I'm not saying they were going gangbusters or anything, but they had a moment. Wow. I'm sorry. Apparently, I'm in an old mob movie, Gangbusters. I haven't said that in a long time. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, so we all know. We'll watch. Let's watch a few things that we all know first. Okay, so Deion Burks in motion, and corner the linebacker right here bites extremely hard. The corner bites hard. The safety is still coming down at this point. He's just now look, he's aware. And there's a reason for that, but we'll come to that in a second. Or what I believe to be a reason for that. And now you've got Zion Kearney on the outside blocking the corner, gets a nice job, does more than enough. That's a touchdown from Zion Kearney's perspective. He did what he could do on that. And again, he got help, but the line, like I said, this linebacker right here, he crashes hard. I mean, it's just, there's a series of errors here for Tulane. There are. But that's a lot of what big plays in college football are. It's not always, it was perfectly executed. You tricked somebody. You got them out of position. You got them moving in the wrong direction, and you were able to seal something. Like, that's people acting like, this has nothing to do with it. This was just luck. That's a lot of college football. Like, it's not luck. It is stuff you have tried to work in, and you hope they make the mistake you're trying to create. That's the whole point of the Deion Burks in motion. That's the whole point of pulling the guard and tackle. You're trying to create this effect, and Tulane played into it perfectly. That's going to happen. That's the point of running the play. Otherwise, you just run up the middle and run passes, and there'd be no play action. It'd be like being like, well, that pass only worked because it was play action. That's the point of play action. It's supposed to fool you. That's the idea. So, anyway, that's another rant for another day. But what I did want to note here, and I know I brought up Taylor Tatum when I started this rant 3 minutes ago, and I've almost not brought up Taylor Tatum at all, so again, I apologize. We know I get on random tangents. I want you just to watch, though, the young running back. Look how well he sells this. Like, he doesn't just kind of fade off. Like, if you just looked at this, I could 100% believe Taylor Tatum has the ball. Okay. Oh, he shows you a little something. He's cutting back in. He makes another little hesitation. It's just now that this guy realizes he doesn't have the ball. Like, this has just happened. Again, look here at the safety, the guy I was talking about earlier. I think he's watching Taylor Tatum real hard. And probably the best news for Oklahoma is, even if Jackson Arnold gives this ball, Taylor Tatum has some room to run here. He's going to be maybe one-on-one with this safety right here, or have a cutback and be one-on-one with this guy. Like, he had avenues of success here. So I think both plays, regardless of what Jackson Arnold decides to do, have a chance to work there. And then obviously Jackson Arnold showing you his athletic ability. I think Tulane did a good job taking some good angles here. I think on plenty of defenses he would have scored because Jackson can absolutely run. So that's again, I've heard some stuff like, oh, it didn't matter because it was this, and that's bull. And at the same time, I wanted to give Taylor Tatum credit. Maybe we can see it. This is almost from behind where that safety I pointed out a few times is. So look, and then look at, it cuts away from, but you could see Taylor Tatum selling that really well. And that's the little intricacies he's got to get better with, the blitz pickup, which we're going to talk about later in the game that didn't go his way. But I do want to single him out when he did something well, aside from just, he's good at having the ball in his hands.